Welcome to Poke's Plates. I'm dressed in my Christmas red this morning. I'm excited about preparing something for my family that will be arriving for Christmas. I'm not quite sure when this video is going to go up, but my family gets in this weekend, and I wanted to have something special for them. I have made a mix like this for years and years. My mom had a recipe many years ago with Czech cereal. That's not a sponsored item, but you know, the cereal's rice, wheat, and corn Chex. I made it for a lot of years, and I thought it was really good. My son had a new variety that comes from a friend of mine last year, and he liked it a whole lot better. So I'm making my friend's recipe this year. The name of it is not really attractive. It's called Trash. Now, I don't know how they come up with the names for some of the things that they have. Maybe the same place that elephants got their names years ago. So I'm going to add the first part of this. We have, loud, a box of wheat thins. We'll add a second box of wheat thins. And we're going to add a box of Cheez-Its. You see how full this box pan's getting. Then we've got oyster crackers. And we add a half a bag of oyster crackers. And we've got pretzel sticks. We'll add a half a bag of pretzel sticks. Now, I'm going to use my very clean hands and mix the crackers together so that they're pretty well blended before we add the butter and the Worcestershire sauce. All right, now the next step is to put the spice blend together. And we've got a lot, and I'm using a cheat sheet because there's an awful lot here, and I want to make sure that I tell you everything that goes into this. We've got a separate bowl here. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. Move my bowl over. We have got basil. Got oregano, dill, a spice called Beaumonde, B-E-A-U-M-O-N-D-E. It's a little hard to find. My friend found it and bought me a jar of it, so I have some on hand. Then we've got garlic salt, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, a little pinch of black pepper, and then we have 2 packages of ranch dip mix that we add to this. As I said earlier, this is not an inexpensive mix to make for your family. And we're going to stir this all up, blend all of this together. You know, while this is expensive to make with the variety of things that are in it, it goes a long way. I mean, we've got a big pan of crackers. I'm actually going to be splitting this between 2 pans so that it has more space to heat up and get the butter coated on it. But this makes a great gift. Put in a small airtight tin or in a baggie with a gift bow and a tag on it. going to reach around and get the butter mixture, and I'm going to actually pour it into a big measuring cup so that it's a little bit easier for me to handle as I'm mixing it up with the crackers. Be careful so this doesn't splash all up on you. That smells good. My friend's instructions to me are to pour 2/3 of the butter mixture over the crackers and then to sprinkle 2/3 of the spice mix over and make my hands work gently to mix all of this together. So I'm going to start with pouring the butter mixture over, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of work before I put the rest of it on there. I don't know, I think it's Ina Garten that says the most important tools in the kitchen are your hands. And that's kind of true with this. You've got to make sure that you've got nice clean hands to put this together. All right, I'm going to put a little bit more of the butter. That looks like it would be 2/3 of it. Right, now I'm going to take the spice mix. I'm just going to take a handful and sprinkle over. I'm going to mix this up. Take some more of the spice mix. And again, you don't want to clump this up if you can help it. Sprinkle it as evenly as you can and kind of work it in between times. All right, I think I have one more handful of spices, and that should be what we need for this first round. I'm going to get the second pan and put half of this in the other pan before I put it in the oven. Okay, I can really see the butter on the bottom of this pan. So I think I'm going to mix a little bit more. You want to have as much of this covered as you can. That looks good enough for right now. Put this in the oven. It goes in at 250 degrees for an hour. You're going to stir it around about every 20-30 minutes for that hour. And then we're going to add the final ingredients, and it'll cook for another hour at 250. So we'll see you when it's ready to add the other ingredients.
Can you make that and turn the water on for me?
Let's see.
Hi, welcome back to Pope's Plates. Today we are going to be making another appetizer, like the appetizer that you saw just before that we called trash or nuts and bolts or Chex Mix. We're going to be making a family favorite, salmon pate. In the description box below, you're going to see a recipe. We're cutting that recipe in half because we have a whole lot of other appetizers when our family comes for Christmas. This recipe is very simple. As long as you have a food processor, I guess you could do it without one, but that would be incredibly time consuming. Like I said, the recipe is in the description box below, and we're cutting that in half. So we're going to add all of the ingredients together. We're going to start with the mayonnaise. I guess if you don't like mayonnaise, you can add yogurt or sour cream. It's just going to make it a little more tart. And then I'm going to add the lemon juice. I will add the mustard. I want to make sure I get all of that out. And we're going to add the cream cheese. This is softened cream cheese. It just helps it, blend up a little faster and a little smoother. Now let's add the dill. Got cream cheese on my thumb, so I'm getting it all over everything. And pepper to taste. Now, because I'm making this for my family, I'm putting in probably half a teaspoon. If I were just making it for myself, it would have, let's just say, a lot more. I really like pepper. If your salmon happens to, I'm using smoked salmon, by the way. If it happens to have skin on it, you're going to want to take the skin off. Try to buy some without skin. So I need to tear that one a little bit better, I think. And so you're just tearing it, putting it in. And that's really all there is to it. I'm going to wipe my hands off before I start, and I'll be right back with you. All right, my hands are clean. I'm going to pulse this. I want to leave some salmon chunks in there, so I'm going to pulse it and kind of see how thick it is, and then pulse it again. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to pulse it a couple of more times. If you want it chunky, it's not chunky, but if you want it a little thicker, you could have it a little thicker. That looks great. I'm going to get a bowl here in a moment. I do want to tell you that if you have smoked salmon, we have a recipe that we published on August the 29th that had salmon cucumber bites. So if you want to get a larger portion of smoked salmon and you're having a party, a New Year's Eve party or something like that, you can make multiple appetizers out of that one that one side of smoked salmon, and your money goes a little bit further. I did scrape down the sides to make sure that as much of the ingredients were off as possible. And I'm going to put this in I'm going to put part of this in a small serving dip bowl that is going to have crackers, or you can use vegetable chips. I would love to know what the appetizers your family likes. What reminds you of the holidays? Do you like more traditional or different? Let us know in the description box below. Until we see you next time, let's keep cooking.